from Colorado, the first place D-backs, now starring the newest National League Player of the Week, back home to open up a 7-game homestand. And tonight, the first of 3 against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Join us for D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Brenly along the way. Good to be back home after a 4-2 road trip that included a sweep of the Rockies at Coors Field, led by the new National League Player of the Week, Paul Goldschmidt. Bob, he has not just been hot, he's been historic.
Historically hot. I mean, when your name is thrown together with Lou Gehrig, you've done something amazing. In 5 games, 15 hits, 11 of them for extra base hits. Lou Gehrig, the only other player to do that back in 1936.
Pretty good company, Goldie and Gehrig. If you go a little bit further back, it really turned for Goldie, Bob. May 22nd, he was hitting 198 for the year. Look what he's done since.
Yeah, in the 15 games since then, a .417 average with 7 homers, 18 driven in, 16 extra base hits among his 25 knocks.
He's slugging .950.
1443 on base percentage since May 23rd.
.950.
The hottest hitter in the world.
Goldie, Goldie, Goldie. The D-backs and the Pirates. First pitch is coming up on Fox Sports Arizona. D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. By BJ's Restaurant and Brewhouse. Visit bjsrestaurants.com to find a location near you. By Tire Pros of Arizona. Everything rotates around you. By GMC. Visit your local GMC dealer. By Carl's Jr. The Memphis Barbecue Thick Burger is back at Carl's Jr. only for a limited time. Go on and pick it up. And by your Valley Honda dealer, where you'll get more standard features for less money. Arizona is brought to you by Jack in the Box. This season, D-backs home runs score free Jumbo Jacks only at Jack in the Box. By Buick, visit your local Buick dealer. by One AZ Credit Union. Let's bank together. And by Gila River Hotels and Casinos. The card by Gila River Casinos earns you rewards 10 times faster than ever before. Sign up for the card today. D-backs back in business here at Chase Field. Patrick Corbin gets the start tonight against Pittsburgh's Joe Musgrove. And the first pitch is next on Fox Sports Arizona. Oh, so good to be back home. First of 7 here, starting tonight with the first of 3 against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Welcome into Chase Field. Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly, and Kate Longworth with you. Pittsburgh comes in here a game under 500 for the year. They are 4th in the NL Central. 7 games back of Milwaukee for the division lead. Here's the Pirates batting order tonight, presented by your Valley Chevy dealer.
Got to keep an eye on those guys at the top of the order, starting with Josh Harrison, the second baseman, leading it off. Austin Meadows, good-looking young rookie, out in right field. Starlin Marte out in center field. David Freese will be playing third base. Cory Dickerson out in left field. Elias Diaz doing the catching. Josh Bell at first base. Jordy Mercer at shortstop, and Big Joe Musgrove on the mound.
Clint Hurdle, the skipper here for the first of 3 against the D-backs. And tonight, your Ram Truck starter is Patrick Corbin, 6-2 in 13 starts, a 2.87 ERA that has Patrick top 10 in the National League. He's 3rd in the league in strikeouts.
Yeah, really, Patrick's only had 2 bad starts all season, coming off a real good one in San Francisco. 6 1/3, 4 hits, only 1 run in that ball game against Madison Bumgarner.
E.D. Marshall Jewelers has a look around the diamond at the D-backs defense tonight.
Daniel Descalso in left field. Chris Owings in center tonight, with David Peralta sliding over to right field. It'll be Jake Lamb and Nick Ahmed on the left side of the infield. Ketel Marte and Paul Goldschmidt on the right side. John Ryan Murphy doing the catching for lefty Patrick Corbin.
Jim Wolf has the balls and strikes tonight. He's our plate umpire. DJ Rayburn at first. Ryan Blakeney at second. The crew chief Sam Holbrook is our third base ump. Josh Harrison is in there. And we are set to go. The first of 3, the D-backs and the Pirates from downtown Phoenix. Fastball misses and we're underway. Harrison hitting .295 with 3 homers. He belted a leadoff home run yesterday in the Pirates win over the Cubs at Wrigley Field. So be careful here. Corbin behind 2-0. It was Harrison's 7th career leadoff home run. Harrison, a hot hitter right now. He's got 2 hits in each of his last 4 games. And he is always credited as the Pirates' energy guy. This is the one that makes them go. Chase that slider, and it's 2-2.
I'm sure the hitting coach in Jackson keeps a close eye on the Diamondbacks regardless, but Vince Harrison, especially tonight, will be keeping an eye on his brother, Josh, leading off for the Pirates.
Belts that one foul down the line. Time now, Bob, for your Valley Honda dealers. Key to the game.
Well, game time, the temperature outside Chase Field, 107 degrees, so we'd like the Diamondbacks to stay hot just like the weather.
10,000 maniacs. Goldie, Goldie, Goldie. Can't get any hotter than he's been. It's a fly ball to Owings in center field. CO on the track, and he's got just enough room. This is a young player to watch in this Pittsburgh lineup. It's the rookie Austin Meadows. A really quick, pretty left-hand swing, and he is off to a sensational big league career. 356 and 5 homers.
And has done well against left-handed pitching this year. We were talking about it before the ball game, hitting just a tick under 500 against lefties.
Yeah, this guy is drawing a lot of attention. He's only been in the big leagues about a month, but he has been a player to watch. D-backs have the shift on. A fastball's in there for a strike. Meadows was the 9th overall pick by the Pirates in the 2013 draft. Came out of high school in Loganville, Georgia. Bob, you mentioned Austin Meadows has shown, as you can see here, he can handle left-handers at the big league level.
And I think it's probably a byproduct of the fact that Austin Meadows was an everyday player everywhere he's been in the minor leagues. So he's faced righties and lefties, and it's not that big of an adjustment at the major league level when you've been doing it your whole life. I've said it before. I think sometimes we do young players a real disservice by bringing them up to the major leagues and then trying to protect them against certain kinds of pitchers, and eventually it's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. They're not going to be able to hit those guys if they don't see them regularly.
Starling Marte will be the on-deck hitter. Swing and a miss on the 2-2. Got the slider. First strikeout for Patrick.
Man, have we seen a lot of that this year.
We can see a whole lot more of it the way Corbin's been going. 2 up, 2 down. Here's Marte. 280 batting average. He's got 7 homers. The guy that really does the damage and always has in recent seasons for the Pirates, Gregory Polanco, not in the starting lineup tonight against the lefties, so we caught a break there. There's that slow slider or curveball, if you like. He steals the strike. It's 0-1. Looks like a curveball, but he uses that same slider grip, just takes some velocity off the pitch. Fastball away, missed, and it's a ball and a strike. John Ryan Murphy wants it down.
Yeah, one thing to keep an eye on Patrick Corbin early in the ball game, for any pitcher for that matter, watch where the target is and how close he comes to that target with every pitch. John Ryan Murphy wanted that slider in the dirt. That's right where he threw it on that last pitch.
Got another one. 2-2. That fastball sailed on Patrick. Full count, 3-2. David Freese, the on-deck hitter for the Pirates. Marte drives one to left field. Descalso over there. He's got it shy of the bullpen. Marte digging for second, and he's got a stand-up double.
Now that was that slider again. Might have been a strike had he taken that pitch, but he intercepts it out in front of home plate. No stride whatsoever for Marte. Just uses his hands to drive that ball down into the left field corner for a 2-out double.
He's in scoring position. 2 down for Freese, who's hitting .245 with 4 homers. Couldn't get strike 1 with a slow slider that time. Slow going this month for David Freese. He's 4 for 17 in June. And he has not hit left-handers this year very well at all. Fastball missed. It's 2-0.
You do have base open and a left-handed hitter in the on-deck circle, but Cory Dickerson's been swinging a bat pretty good this year, and he too handles left-handed pitching pretty well.
Long sequence of signs from John Ryan. Patrick wants to start again. Big cut at that slider.
Such a devastating swing and a miss pitch.
He's shown him both versions too. He showed him that slow curveball looking slider and then the hard slider down. Here's the 2-1. Game with a fastball down there, and it's 2-2.
Talk about that swing and a miss slider for Patrick Corbin. These are just a few we've clipped off from this season. Jesus Aguilar from the Brewers way out in front. And the pitch is off speed, and it has tremendous diving action as it gets into that hitting zone. And the combination of those two things makes it nearly impossible to hit when he keeps it down there at the bottom of the zone.
Good examples there against both right and left-hand hitters. Misfired on that slider, and it's full. 3-2 counts to the last 2 Pittsburgh batters. Dickerson on deck. He's been hot. And again, you got to step off and reset after that long sequence of signs. Marte down there at second. Goldie off the glove. That rolls into right center. Marte coming around. Here's the throw. And he's in there. It's 1-0 Pirates. It caromed off the glove and rolled into the outfield, and Marte scores from second.
Now Freese reaches out and hits a line drive to the right side. Goldie playing way off the bag like we're used to seeing him. Could only get leather on that ball and knock it down. Unfortunately gets too far away from Ketel Marte to have a play on the other Marte at home plate.
They just put an error up on the board. E3, no RBI. Pirates have a 1-0 lead. Here's Cory Dickerson. Just checking my map, making sure we're not in Pittsburgh. No, we're here. See the numbers on Dickerson.
Some days you don't even need to look over to the press box to tell who the official scorekeeper is.
It's all subjective.
Oh, man.
There is that swing and miss on the slider, and Corbin's ahead quickly 0-2.
I mean, if Goldie is positioned where a normal first baseman would stand, that gets through cleanly into right field. He had to leave his feet to make the attempt. I'm not quite sure how that's an error, but see, maybe it gets changed.
Dickerson rolls one to second. Ketel Marte has it. Pittsburgh has the early lead. The D-backs coming up. Starting pitcher for the Pirates is Joe Musgrove, 25-year-old right-hander. He won a World Series game with Houston last season. Tonight, just his fourth start of the year for Pittsburgh, coming off a shoulder problem this spring.
Yeah, 2 of the first 3 starts for Joe Musgrove were really good. 7 innings of shutout baseball against the Cardinals, and then 7 innings of 1-run baseball against the Cubs. Last time out against the Dodgers, got banged around a little bit.
Valley Chevy Dealers has the D-backs lineup.
Daniel Descalso leading it off out in left field tonight. Paul Goldschmidt at first base. Jake Lamb at third. John Ryan Murphy doing the catching with David Peralta in right field tonight. Ketel Marte at second base. Chris Owings out in center field. Nick Ahmed at shortstop, and Patrick Corbin, the lefty, on the mound.
Daniel Descalso gets us started. Digging in at 261. He's got 7 home runs. Musgrove's got that mid-90s fastball. You'll see 93 to 96 for most of the night. Got a really good changeup. He's got a whole arsenal, in fact. Likes to mix up his pitches. This is driven to center for Marte.
First baseman, number 44, Paul Goldschmidt.
Go Goldie! Named today National League Player of the Week. There was no other choice. Not the way this guy's going right now. I'd say these numbers would get you Player of the Week.
Oh yeah, a 640 batting average, 4 homers, 11 driven in, 11 extra base hits. Wow. OPS over 2100. Come on.
Well, he's down 0-2.
I mean, these are video game numbers. When you have the cheat code.
Good call. Look at you. Last 6 games, 6 doubles, a triple, and 4 home runs. Well, down here, 0-2.
Yeah, you mentioned Musgrove with a full arsenal out there. Throws 3 different fastballs, a 2-seam sinker, a cutter, and a 4-seamer. His best off-speed pitch is probably the straight changeup, but he also has a real good slider against the right-handers.
Yeah, Musgrove started out in the Astros rotation last year. Got moved into the bullpen about mid-season or so, and he was a big arm back there for A.J. Hinch. Pitched a lot in the World Series against the Dodgers. Came to Pittsburgh in the offseason as part of the Garrett Cole deal. Goldie down, a ball and 2 strikes. Fights off a fastball in at 96.
Boy, everywhere you look with Paul Goldschmidt recently, the numbers just jump off the page. In his last 5 games, he's had multi-hits in each one of them. His first 58 games, he had 9 total.
My favorite one is June. He's batting .500 in June. Chased a slider down and away and strikes out. E.D. Marshall Jewelers has a look around the diamond at the Pirates defense tonight.
Cory Dickerson out in left field. Starling Marte in center. Austin Meadows will be in right field with David Freese at third. Jordy Mercer at short. Josh Harrison at second base. Josh Bell at first base. Elias Diaz doing the catching for right-hander Joe Musgrove.
Yeah, Francisco Cervelli took a foul ball off the mask the other day. He's been down for a couple of days. So it's Elias Diaz back there. Here's Jake Lamb, 234 and 3 homers. He homered in Denver Friday. Pirates have the shift on, and there's strike 1. This was Cervelli Saturday at Wrigley Field.
Kind of got underneath the mask, caught him in the jaw. Off the chest protector and then off the left side of his jaw.
Yeah, he had to leave the game. X-rays revealed a bruise, no fracture, and he passed all his concussion tests, but they're going to give him another day or 2.
Well, with that jaw injury, he can't talk, and if Francisco Cervelli can't talk, he can't play.
They want to milk that for all that they can in the Pirate dugout. A little tapper to second into the shift. Harrison has it, and Musgrove works a 1-2-3 first. D-backs trail the Pirates 1-0.
With America's first baseman back to his winning ways. That's right. Paul Goldschmidt is good as Goldie, and that is what his numbers proved in the past week that earned him Player of the Week honors for the National League. And although when he steps up to the plate, his swing is looking effortless, it was not an easy pathway for Goldie to get back to this. Paul shared with me today that he was taking it day by day and trying to do his best, but there was a lot of frustrations involved. He said he was just preparing the best he could, which included trying really every adjustment in the book over the month of May when he was scuffling. But in the end, he said he just had to stay the course, and now that he has found his swing, his teammates saying, well, they never expected it to not come back. And the coaches saying what they admired the most is the way that Paul was just consistent with his behavior, his demeanor, and proving to be a leader. And now he's got the numbers to back it up.
Hey, Kate, I think that speaks a lot to Goldie's work ethic and character in general, Bob. Even when things were at their lowest for him, he just stayed the course and he trusted the process.
Trust the process. That's what you hear guys talk about all the time, and we mention it many times up here in the booth. You can't control results. All you can do is get a good pitch, put a good swing on it, try to hit it hard, and hope it finds grass somewhere, or in Goldie's case, bleachers.
Here's the Pirates catcher, Elias Diaz, who leads off the second against Patrick Corbin. He has had a couple of hits in their win at Wrigley Field yesterday. In there for Cervelli. Big first baseman Josh Bell on deck. Out to right center. Owings and Peralta. CO can't get it. Try to make a sliding grab in front of David, and Diaz is aboard. That's a base hit for Elias Diaz.
We've seen that happen a couple times recently. Chris Owings, because of his relative inexperience in the outfield, always plays deep. He's much more comfortable coming in on the ball using his speed, but occasionally he gets a bad read, and this one drops in front. Somebody's got to catch that ball.
That same thing happened on Charlie Blackmon's first at bat yesterday when CO was out there in left field at Coors Field. Here's Josh Bell. Ball dropped in front for a Blackmon double. There's the slow slider in there for a strike. Josh Bell, a switch hitter, .237 with 4 homers. That's out of play. That almost hit Bernie Pleskoff, who made a tremendous play. All right, Bernie. Bernie still got those quick hands.
I'm pretty sure Bernie waited till it stopped rolling before he picked it up.
Barry Bloom was cowering under the counter, but Bernie was right there. Threw himself in front of it. In the press box here at Chase Field. 1-2 on Josh Bell.
Hey, it's hard to believe, but July 4th is just around the corner. Celebrate Independence Day here at Chase Field when the D-backs take on the Cardinals. Fans will enjoy the best fireworks show in town, presented by Gila River Hotels and Casinos. Get tickets now at dbacks.com.
Tried to check on the breaking ball, and Patrick gets his second strikeout. Here's the shortstop, Jordy Mercer. 251. He's got 3 home runs. Well, I remember probably 2 years ago. You remember we played the Pirates, one of the first series of the season. It was in April. Everything was open up, outfield panels, roof. Mercer hit one about 470.
I know he remembers it because he doesn't hit many of them.
No, he doesn't. The ball was flying out of here that night. Well, they're having trouble laying off that pitch. Patrick keeping it down and away to these right-hand batters, and they're offering it. 0-2.
That was the slower one, the curveball. We'll call it a curveball. As you mentioned, it's the same grip as this slider. He just takes a little bit of velocity off of it, but it looks like a curveball.
It sure does. That's something that Torrey talks a lot about, and Mike Butcher changing not only the velocity of a breaking pitch, but the shape. That's the word they like to use, that it just has a different shape to it. One and two on the Pirate shortstop. Went down there fishing again. Third strikeout for Corbin.
quick look at Jordy Mercer right there. Let's take a look at our nationwide vision eye on the game. First pitch fastball for a called strike. Then that big slow breaker. He buries a slider once he was ahead in the count. Comes right back with the same pitch again for strike 3.
Patrick at 40 pitches, 25 strikes. Here's the pitcher, Joe Musgrove.
And no surprise, 3 strikeouts in the game for Patrick Corbin, all coming on that slider down.
Musgrove hits one a mile up in the air to center for Owens. Patrick strands that leadoff single. D-backs trail the Pirates 1-0.
All military by sharing a photo or video with hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Well, we have a moment before we get back into action. Time to take a look at our legacy moment brought to you by Geico. We go back to 1990 when Nolan Ryan no-hit the Oakland Athletics 5-0. His 6th career no-hitter at the age of 43. Come on.
It's not fair to give Nolan Ryan all that foul territory in Oakland either. Patrick Corbin 3 strikeouts, but he trails it 1-0 as John Ryan Murphy leads off the D-back second against Pirates right-hander Joe Musgrove.
Yeah, Nolan Ryan back in 1990 became the first player to throw a no-hitter for 3 different teams in 3 different decades.
How about that, huh? What has happened to human physiology ever since?
Well, I don't know. I just remember walking out of the Astrodome after Nolan Ryan had pitched 7 or 8, maybe even 9 innings against the Giants one night, and it was probably an hour and a half after the game, and walked by the weight room, and somebody was in there pounding the iron. Nolan Ryan.
John Ryan Murphy, the D-backs first hit, a leadoff single in the second.
Goes down and gets a fastball down below knee level, lines it into that gap in left center. John Ryan Murphy's been hitting a lot of balls in the air lately, which is not a bad thing, but he's been popping them up instead of driving them into the outfield.
Yeah, he was stuck in a 2 for 18 skid before that base hit. Back after a day off in Denver yesterday, David Peralta batting .276. He's got 11 home runs. Musgrove, consistent mid-90s fastball, keeps it down 0-1.
Yeah, and that one had some cutting action at 94. I mentioned he throws 3 different fastballs. The 4-seamer is usually across the top of the zone when he's ahead in the count trying to get hitters to chase. He'll throw a sinker and a cutter.
There's the cut fastball, misses in. It's 1-1. Joe Musgrove is a big dude out there. 6'5", 260 pounds, 25-year-old right-hander. Harrison knocks it down. It trickles into right field, and Peralta's got a base hit. Couple of singles open up the D-backs second.
And David hits this ball hard. Thought it was going to sneak through on its own. Josh Harrison just gets a piece of it to slow it down, putting Diamondbacks at first and second here. Nobody out for Ketel Marte.
111 miles an hour off the bat of David Peralta. He is barreling everything up these days, even ground balls. Speaking of that, here's the red-hot Ketel Marte. 238 and 4 homers. He doubled and homered yesterday in the win at Colorado. Had 3 hits and knocked in 3 runs. Murphy's at second, Peralta's at first, and nobody out. Marte shows bunt and bunts it foul. Interesting.
It looked more like a bunt for a base hit than a sacrifice attempt for Marte. I mean, short of Paul Goldschmidt, this might be the second hottest hitter in the National League. You don't want him giving away outs. He's trying to bunt for a base hit right there.
That was a part of his game when he first came up with Seattle, but the way he's swung the bat lately, one extra base hit after another. I'd like to see him take some hacks here in this ballpark.
Yeah, I mentioned Marte, short of Paul Goldschmidt, one of the hottest hitters in the National League. In the month of May, he hit 207. So far in the month of June, 379.
It's one right at the shortstop. Mercer, Harrison, and they can't turn it. Marte beats it out. Murphy in at third.
You hit that ground ball in the infield with the runner at first. You know you've got to bust it down that line to beat that relay throw to keep the inning going. No, Pirates only able to get the force at second base that time.
They're on the corners with 1 out for CO. Chris Owings, 195. He's got 3 homers. Chris in center tonight, even against the right-hander Musgrove. Both John Jay and Gerard Dyson played all 3 games at Colorado, and so Torrey insisting they both sit out tonight to start.
Well, and we saw that last year from Torrey as well, going into and coming out of those Rocky series in Denver. Very careful with the playing time for each individual guy.
Yeah, the matchups didn't quite work out where Torrey could give everybody at least 1 day off at that altitude. Because everybody says, and there's all kinds of data to back this up, it's not playing at Colorado that gets you, it's playing after you've been there when you really feel it. So they're trying to mitigate that as best they can.
And one guy that played all 3 games in Colorado is Paul Goldschmidt, and he was on base the entire series. Doubles and triples and home runs and making defensive plays and running the bases. So I'm sure Torrey would probably like to pick a day over the next week here and give Goldie a little bit of a rest. Tough thing to do right now.
A little tapper. Musgrove underhand toss. Diaz hangs on to get Murphy at home. So many times something goes awry when the pitcher tries to make that play, but that time that was well executed, and they cut down Murphy coming home.
And just a little swinging bunt over there on the left side. That's a nice play by Joe Musgrove. He's a good athlete for a big guy. 6'5", 260. Makes a real nice shovel toss on to Diaz for the out at home.
Well, the D-backs had first and second, nobody out. Now it's first and second, 2 down, and the batter is Nick Ahmed. Nick up to 223. He's got 9 homers. He's already matched his career high. Good speed on the bases. Marte at second and Owings at first. First pitch swing and skies one to right for Meadows. We're through 2. D-backs trail it 1-0. Fans, don't forget you can participate in our D-backs 50-50 charity raffle presented by the Arizona Lottery. Right there from home, along with all of us at the ballpark. Your chance to win half the pot and help kids in our community. Get your tickets online during every D-backs home game on Fox Sports Arizona at dbacks.com/5050 raffle. And they'll give you the winning number on the postgame show. Pot is up to just about $6,000 so far. It's only the third inning. Josh Harrison leads it off for the Pirates, who lead it 1-0. Starling Marte had a 2-out double in the first. He scored on a David Freese ball that went off Goldie's glove for an E3.
I mentioned when we gave you the Pirates lineup, you got to keep an eye on these first three guys in the Pirates order. Josh Harrison, a career .324 hitter in this ballpark with 12 extra base hits in 19 games and drove a long fly ball to center field for his first out of the game.
Yeah, Harrison has been tough on lefties this year, batting .320 against left-handers. Well, he's really getting guys to sell out on that slow slider down and away, especially these right-hand hitters.
And a lot of them aren't even getting back to the outside corner.
Yeah.
But it might, so that's why they're chasing that pitch.
That's been consistent the first time through the order. Comes back at him with a fastball, a bouncer for Lamb. 4 in a row set down by Patrick. Here's Austin Meadows, the right fielder, struck out his first time up. Meadows has looked very good for the Pirates. He was just named National League Rookie of the Month for May, which is really impressive considering he didn't make his major league debut until May 18th, and he was Rookie of the Month. There's the defense against him. Yeah, Meadows in his first 13 career games last month hit .409 with 4 homers. So they gave him the award anyway. He was that good. Sends one out to Peralta.
Hey, fans, receive 15% off at the Chase Field Team Shop when you use the card by Gila River Casino. Sign up for the card today.
Starling Marte, the Pirates center fielder tonight. They move their outfielders around. Sometimes Meadows is in center, sometimes Marte. And he doubled and scored his first time up. Fastball away, missed. This guy has been a problem in this ballpark. This is his 10th career game at Chase Field. He's got 16 hits here, including 6 doubles. Left the curveball up that time, and it's 1-1. How about this? And then you count his first at bat tonight. So the numbers keep going up for Starling Marte here at Chase Field.
He's got a lot going on. He kind of sneaks up on home plate as the ball's being delivered. He's got that bat pumping back behind the back shoulder. Real busy in that batter's box.
Laces one down the line, and that is a foul ball. Sam Holbrook, the crew chief, down there at third. That just missed.
With all he has going on, you would think you could get inside. You know, all that kind of movement, it's tough to get the bat back to an inside pitch, but Marte is extremely quick on pitches on that inside corner. Kind of harkens back to Gary Sheffield and the way he used to buggy whip that bat, and you'd think you could get in on his hands and you try it and he'd hit one about 450 feet.
Yeah, they look a lot alike. That's a good call. Fastball in, tapped to shortstop. Nick's got it. Corbin set down 6 in a row, but he trails it 1-0. the 2018 Camping World MLB All-Star Ballot is now open. Only online. Make sure your favorite D-backs are there on this year's squad. You can vote at dbacks.com/vote. And remember to catch all the action of the 89th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard, July 17th, live on Fox.
And don't wait, fans. Start voting right now. Diamondbacks are going to need your help. We know that several cities around the National League tend to stuff the ballot box this time of year.
That seems not right.
I think we should return the favor.
Well, you can vote like 30 times a day. So you just keep going until they tell you got to stop and wait till tomorrow and pick it up again the next day. High chopper to second. Harrison has it. They retire Corbin to start the third.
Well, that's a rarity. Patrick Corbin was 5 for 10 against the Pirates in his career as a hitter. Wow. A double, an RBI, and a walk to go along.
Leadoff man tonight in left field, Daniel Descalso. He flied out to center to start us off. Boy, Daniel's been rolling lately. 345 in his last 10 games. He's homered twice over that stretch. He's also walked 7 times in his last 10, so he's had some really good at bats. That's why he's up there leading off. A fastball in, just misses. Harrison again. Here comes Goldie.
First baseman, Goldschmidt.
Goldie, a strikeout victim his first time up. He starts this homestand with that 6-game hitting streak. The last 5 have been multi-hit games. Starts him off with a breaking ball there and steals strike 1. Musgrove will throw the kitchen sink at you. He really likes to mix up his sequences. Sometimes he kind of outthinks himself and gets a little bottled up out there, but he's got a whole bunch of stuff to throw at you. Working tonight with Elias Diaz behind the plate. In the hole, Freeze has it in front of Mercer. 3 ground ball outs for Musgrove. D-backs trail the Pirates 1-0. coming to Fox and FS1 every match live. Over 300 hours of coverage. The world's biggest sporting event only 3 days away right here on Fox and FS1. And for more, we turn to our World Cup correspondent, Bob Brenly.
Well, I'll tell you what, Team Brazil. Now, we all know about Neymar, and he's a great player, but a lot of people around the game say that they could win even without him. That's how good the supporting cast is on Team Brazil.
But they're not without him.
No,
he's not injured or anything.
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Here's David Freese to start the fourth. You are really dialed in. I'm very impressed with your dedication to the World Cup.
Fired up for the World Cup to get started.
It's in Russia this year.
What could go wrong?
2-0 to David Freese. Third base, Jake Lamb. That's 7 straight retired by Patrick Corbin.
Boy, and as usual, you're going to see the guys on the left side of the infield extremely busy with Patrick Corbin on the mound, because when right-handed hitters do make contact against that slider, it almost has to be a ground ball to the left side.
Cory Dickerson, the left-hand batter, grounded out to the right side his first time up.
You know, for all the reasons we talked about earlier, the slider, not only does it have movement and off speed, the right-handed hitter is going to get out front because the movement is coming into them. They're going to roll over on that pitch and most likely hit it on the ground to the left side.
Now that's a term that you hear thrown around all the time. He rolled over on it.
Usually it's on an off-speed pitch or some kind of a breaking ball. When you get out in front of the pitch, you try to extend your swing, and that right hand just automatically rolls over for a right-handed hitter, and you just hit the top part of the baseball. Weak grounders to the left side.
Patrick fires a fastball in there. Throwing strike to strike, as Torrey often likes to say. It's 0-2. That's a good example of mixing up pitches. If you're seeing the pitcher get ahead in the count, you think, okay, he's going to come at me with that slider, and then he drops a fastball in there, then gets you on the slide piece, and he's retired 8 straight.
And Cory Dickerson really chokes up on that bat with 2 strikes, just tries to make contact, shortens up on his swing a little bit, and he too comes up empty on that big slider.
4 strikeouts for Corbin. Here's the catcher, Elias Diaz. Diaz singled his first time up. This is a guy that just hammers lefties. Big right-hand batter, 6'1", 215. There's a strike. But counting tonight, he is 11 for 24 against left-hand pitchers this year with a pair of homers.
Well, Diaz has that backup catcher mentality. When Cervelli's healthy, he's only going to play maybe 1 day a week. So when you get in there and get your 4 at-bats, he's not going to get cheated. He's going to try to hit the ball a long way, especially against lefties.
Yeah, he might have been in there anyway tonight, the way he's going against left-handers. There's the slow slider slash curveball, and it's 1-2. Boy, they are selling out on that pitch big time.
Really are.
Just got to make sure you keep it down. And comes in with a fastball. It's remarkable, Bob, that Patrick has been able to stay as consistent as he's been. Nice catch there with that fastball velocity. Still down around 90, 91 or so. We saw it dip early in the season, and it's kind of remained low 90s ever since. But he's been just as effective.
Hey fans, the day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
2-2 to the Pittsburgh catcher. Right to Ahmed at shortstop. Another 1-2-3 inning for Patrick Corbin. He's retired 9 straight, but trails it 1-0.
Welcome back. I'm Kate Longworth. As the sun sets on the valley, the Diamondbacks hoping the bats heat up inside here at Chase Field, down 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the fourth. Well, after the Diamondbacks swept the Rockies, Cory said the first thing he did was hop on the computer to check out how Shelby Miller did in his third rehab start. And he said when he first saw the line, he was a little alarmed. After all, Miller lasted just 3 innings, throwing 65 pitches, giving up 8 runs on 9 hits. However, once Cory knew that Miller was okay, and he talked to the folks at AA Jacksonville and knew Shelby had his stuff, but he just got hit around a bit. He said he actually welcomed an outing like this because he's trying to set Miller up in the best way for a positive return from post-Tommy John surgery. And he said you can't always create the situations, but you want a starter to go out there, face some adversity, get hit around, have that blow to the ego, if you will, guys, and then react to that, respond, and come back and have a better outing. And so maybe this just works fine into the game plan.
Yeah, Kate, he's going to continue his process, Shelby Miller. He's going to throw a bullpen, Cory tells us, Wednesday, and then look forward to another minor league rehab start and maybe get up around 90 pitches or so. Randall Delgado continues his rehab. He's pitching for Class A Visalia tonight. 0-2 on Jake Lamb. That one got him in the foot. And there's very good news on Robbie Ray. Robbie continues to make progress, and he is looking ahead to a start with Visalia, they think, maybe this week.
Slider catches Jake right on the tip of that right shoe. Tried to hit the catcher and the umpire after it got Jake Lamb, but the Diamondbacks have the leadoff man on here in the fourth.
There's A.J. Pollock. Steven Souza. Souza was down there hitting today, trying to come off that pectoral strain. John Ryan Murphy singled in his first at bat tonight. D-backs, Bob, have been very aggressive against Joe Musgrove, and it's really working out in his favor. I mean, you can't get any more efficient than this. He's got 9 outs so far. 7 of the 9 outs recorded on 2 or fewer pitches.
And when you see that kind of aggressiveness up and down the lineup, it probably means that the advance report and the video scouting and the data all says you're better off attacking Joe Musgrove early in the sequence before he gets to 2 strikes when you're kind of at his mercy. So Diamondbacks may be trying to ambush him early in these counts.
31 pitches, 23 for strikes, but behind on Murphy, 2-0. John Ryan hits a fly ball left field. Dickerson runs it down. Lamb back to the bag at first, 1 away in the fourth. David Peralta, a base hit his first time up tonight.
It's easy to get excited when John Ryan Murphy hits a ball in the air to left field. Among National League catchers this year, he's hit 8 home runs in 104 plate appearances. Yasmani Grandal pacing the way. He's got 11 in 219 plate appearances.
Boy, put that changeup in a bad spot, but stole strike 1 with it. David has been very productive lately. He's hit safely in 7 of his last 9 games. 4 homers over that span. Peralta 3 for 5 in Colorado Friday night, and then a 4-hit game Saturday against the Rockies. Doubled homer, drove in 3, had yesterday off. Got under that one. Slices it out to left for Dickerson.
Hey fans, a D-backs home run today means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack in the Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
Ketel Marte. Remember, Marte in his first at bat Tried to bunt his way on for a base hit. Asked Torey Lovullo today, what are you seeing that's changed for Ketel Marte? He said, he's just surveying the strike zone. He's not missing his pitch. He was struggling early this year. He would get a pitch but foul it off for a swing and miss. But now he's staying on it and barreling it up.
And hitting it for extra bases. National League extra base hit leaders in the month of June. Goldie the top of the list with 12. Ketel Marte right behind him with 10.
Got another change up from Musgrove. Is starting to mix things up now the second time through the order. Musgrove missed the first 2 months this year with a right shoulder strain suffered in spring training. Didn't make it back from the DL until late last month. Another changeup.
Well, while we're talking about voting for the All-Star game, don't forget Ketel Marte, highest batting average by second baseman since May 28th. Altuve atop the list, Ian Kinsler in second place, but right there's Ketel Marte with his .359 average. Good year for second baseman.
How about Scooter Gennett? Boy, nothing but changeups to Marte. Musgrove gets the strikeout. We'll head to the fifth inning. D-backs trail the Pirates 1-0.
Corbin all coming on that hard slider. I want you to pay close attention to the last one. Cory Dickerson. He looks at his bat as if there's a hole in the barrel after he swings through the Patrick Corbin slider. Oh, we just missed it. Next one. Had some technical difficulties down the truck. We'll try to get that to you. It was very funny. Dickerson swung at that slider in the dirt and then looked at his bat like it had a hole in it.
It does now. Josh Bell leads off the Pirate fifth against Patrick, who's retired 9 straight. Bell struck out his first time up. Switch hitter batting from the right hand side. All 4 of Bell's homers this year have come as a left-hand batter. But Patrick walks him on 4 pitches. First base on balls issued by Corbin tonight.
And you hope that's just a speed bump for Patrick Corbin, but he's been so good in and around that strike zone through the first 4 innings of this game. A 4-pitch walk to start the 5th has to throw up a red flag.
Yeah, I would think. The shortstop Mercer struck out his first time up. Out of Tologa, Oklahoma. He's an Oklahoma State Cowboy. Didn't go, says DJ Rayburn. Mercer's 7th big league season. Pirates drafted him out of Stillwater, 3rd rounder back in 08. Well, Jim Wolf going to give Patrick the fastball that time, just off the plate, 1-1. Jim Wolf usually expands his zone north-south, not so much east-west. So that was a little unusual for him. He'll give you the low strike. He'll give you the high strike. Corbin at 70 pitches, 43 strikes. Slider misses down low.
Long look down to third base coach Joey Cora. Pirates don't do a lot of running. They don't do a lot of hit and running. Starling Marte probably the best base stealer on the roster.
David Peralta, long run. He won't be able to get there. It lands fair along the line. He'll stop Bell at third, and Mercer's got a double.
A little flare down that right field line, came on a fastball up over the heart of the plate. Mercer just kind of fought it off that time. Little dunker out there in front of David Peralta, but by the time he retrieves it, Pirates have runners at second and third for the pitcher.
A walk and a double open up the Pittsburgh 5th. Here's Musgrove. Musgrove hit a deep fly ball to center, swung at the first pitch his last time up. Lays off the curveball.
You may not be familiar with Joe Musgrove's name, but you might have seen him on the highlights recently. You may remember Anthony Rizzo slid into Diaz at home plate in that series at Wrigley Field, and so Joe Musgrove says, I'm going to return the favor here. He went in hard to Javier Baez at second base. They started jawing. Both teams came out onto the field. A square dance ensued, and that was the end of that. But Joe Musgrove as a pitcher going into second base hard.
Yeah, we said he's a big boy at 6'5", 260. Coming in hard on Javi Baez. But, you know, it's a bona fide slide straight into the bag.
It looked like Baez thought a little better about barking at Musgrove after that slide when Musgrove stood up and towered over Javier Baez.
It's almost like Baez immediately started to apologize.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, sir. I shouldn't have said anything. Boy, you're tall.
You're a big guy, aren't you?
1-2. Swing and a miss. 5th strikeout for Corbin. 1 down in the 5th.
Now that Pirates-Cubs rivalry is really starting to become interesting.
Well, you know, the Pirates are one of those teams that they just annoy everybody. You know, they pitch inside a lot, and Clint Hurdle kind of loves that stuff. They're going to give Harrison the free pass with first base open. And they'll work to Austin Meadows, the left-hand batter.
Yeah, Clint Hurdle had some things to say about Javier Baez and some of the other Cubs and the way they seemingly really enjoy their success against the Pirates, and those comments weren't taken too very kindly by the Cubs and Joe Madden. So this is going to be a fun summer in that National League Central.
Well, it's pretty close. The Pirates a game under 500. Milwaukee's trying to run away from everybody. Pittsburgh is 7 back for the division lead. Pirates, you know, they got up to a season high 9 over 500 back on May 17th, but since then they've gone 6-16. Their offense is kind of shut down, and they've dropped a bit. But you don't think just in terms of the division, of course. You think wild card. You got 11 teams in the National League, all within 5 games of a wild card spot.
That.
Pirates are one of them. So Corbin's going to have to pull a rabbit out of a hat here. Bases full, 1 out. Austin Meadows, the hitter, he's 0 for 2. Meadows has struck out, lined out to right.
Patrick Corbin hasn't pitched into a lot of trouble this year, but this has been a troublesome area. The third time through the opposing batting order. First time through they hit 125. Second time through they hit 200. Third time through it jumps up to 270.
Fastball up and away, lays off. 2-0. As we mentioned earlier, Meadows has shown himself to be a good hitter against left-hand pitchers. He is 10 for 25 versus lefties this year, including 3 home runs. Bases full of Pirates and 1 out. Again, got the fastball up. Austin Meadows, the Pirates' first-round pick back in 2013. He was the 9th player taken overall out of Loganville, Georgia. He's got Bell at third, Mercer at second, and Harrison at first. Punches one the other way, and this is trouble. Bell is home. Mercer coming in. They'll stop Harrison at third. A 2-run double for Austin Meadows, and it's 3-0 Pittsburgh.
A little bit different approach this time around against Patrick Corbin by the Pirates, and laying off that slider. Fastball up and out over the plate. Our Nationwide Vision eye on the game. Just a slashing line drive down that third baseline. Drive home a couple of teammates.
Fourth hit for the Pirates. They have 3 doubles against Corbin. Here's Starling Marte, who doubled and scored in the first. To second through Marte. Harrison is home. Here comes Meadows. Make it 5-0 Pittsburgh.
The ball was hit pretty hard right at Ketel Marte. Breaking ball down in the zone. Starling Marte stays on it, hits that hard ball to the right side. Looked like Ketel had a chance to make a play right there. This gets through into shallow right center field to drive home 2 more.
They call it a base hit. And here's the batter, David Freese. A 4-run Pittsburgh 5th. Hard to shortstop. Ahmed, Marte, and they turn 2. But the Pirates get 4. They lead it 5-0. Bottom 5 at Chase Field. D-backs with some work to do. They trail the Pirates 5-0. Tonight, we're participating in a home run challenge. Every home run in this game raises money for prostate cancer research. Since June 1st, $410,000 has been raised in the challenge. You can make a pledge by going to homerunchallenge.org. Chris Owings leads it off against Joe Musgrove to start the bottom of the 5th. D-backs have been out hit 5-2. They trail at 5-zip. Owings in center field tonight. Descalso is in left. Peralta in right, with Dyson and John Jay both getting the night off after playing all 3 games at Coors Field over the weekend. Fastball, cut fastball for Musgrove, and he's ahead 0-2. This guy's thrown 40 pitches, 31 strikes, and a fastball at 96 strikes out CO.
Well, and a really disturbing trend we brought up in the last inning when Musgrove was out there on the mound is efficiency. 3-pitch strikeout here to Chris Owings. Goldie had a 6-pitch at bat in the first. Marte had a 4-pitch at bat in the fourth. The other 14 outs in this ball game have come on 3 or fewer pitches.
I mean, that you can't get more efficient than that. Nick Ahmed flied out his first time. Mentioned Musgrove came back from the DL late last month after that right shoulder strain suffered in spring training. He won his first 2 starts for the Pirates and was extremely impressive. He beat the Cardinals and the Cubs, went 7 innings each time, and gave up only 1 run. But he ran into a little bit of a bump in his previous start. That was Tuesday against the Dodgers at PNC Park. LA beat him 5-0. Musgrove gave up home runs to Jock Peterson and Yasiel Puig. That's after Peterson had homered off Musgrove twice in the World Series last year when Musgrove was working out of the Astros bullpen. Came over to Pittsburgh in January as part of the Garrett Cole trade. We got a big birthday announcement coming up, BB. Really? I don't know if you saw the headline here. It was all over the ballpark. People were talking about it. I'm going to give you a minute to try and guess. It's somebody really famous. I mean, this is a big time guy whose birthday. In fact, it's number 40. I'll give you a little clue. He's 40 years old today. Of all the big time D-back celebrities that we see, you know, pretty much on a daily basis. There's another strikeout for Musgrove. He's punched out 3 in a row. It's happy birthday, number 40, to everyone's favorite speed walking, guitar modeling, loud pants wearing, former most eligible bachelor. It's D-backs player and media relations star Casey Wilcox, who is, I'm told, deeply embarrassed by that photo, which is why it's on television right now. That's a legit ad for a guitar. He was a guitar model.
Does he play guitar?
I have no idea. I've never seen him play guitar, but they were looking for a guy who had Casey's look, and he kind of looks like a guy who might play his guitar in a coffee shop somewhere in that photo. So happy birthday to Case, who's 40.
Casey.
Doesn't look a day over 38. Pat O'Connell was very proud of himself for putting that photo on the front page of the game notes today.
Yeah.
So we figured we'd take it next level for Pat. Got the color version, put it on TV.
Casey's been here for a long time. I remember when I was managing, I used to deal with Casey on almost a daily basis. Of course, he wasn't a famous male model then. He was just an employee of the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, just a regular guy.
Yeah.
Well, Musgrove trying to strike out the side here. 50 pitches, 38 strikes. He's not walked a batter. He's punched out 4. Descalso would be next. Corbin knocks one into right field. A 2-out single, just the third D-backs hit. That'll change the mojo, hopefully.
Yeah, Patrick Corbin now 6 for 12 lifetime as a hitter against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Clean single through that right side. Continues the inning here for Daniel Descalso.
Descalso is flied out, grounded out, 0 for 2 from the leadoff spot tonight. I wonder if they sold more guitars after that. I'd like to see some data to back that up. Did Casey
did.
Suddenly sales spike because of Casey's photo?
There's probably several bands out there that want to hire Casey just to stand on stage and look good.
Look cool. He's good at that. But he's legit now. You know, he's a husband. He's a father. He walks around in Lululemon pants all the time. Doesn't really fit the. Doesn't really look what they're looking for.
Oh my.
There go the notes. 1-1.
No change up.
He's got a good one.
If you look at the game logs for Joe Musgrove over his last 3 starts, his only 3 starts this season, they're all fairly evenly split between the fastball, the cut fastball, the changeup, the slider. Almost the same percentage from start to start.
Well, if they were going to give Garrett Cole to Houston, they were going to get something back, and Musgrove is one of the parts. And you can see why they wanted him. He's a former first-round pick. That's foul by Dave McKay at first. Musgrove was a first-round pick by the Blue Jays out of high school in California back in 2011. He was traded a year after that to Houston, and then this January came to the Pirates. Another one foul down the first baseline. There's Dick Robertson, wrong way. Waits for it to check up. We got Mark Strawberry Fields and those khakis ready to go down the left field line.
This might be a first. 2 lefties.
Good call.
Yeah, usually we're a little concerned about where they put the righty and where they put the lefty, but a couple of lefties tonight.
I'm not sure I like the left-hander in left field. That's he's got his glove away from the line. Another strikeout for Musgrove. That's 3 in the inning and 5 for the ball game. The D-backs trail the Pirates 5-0. Nothing. Hey, Tiger Woods is back and he is ready to go. set to take on the greatest golfers in the world. The 118th U.S. Open. Live coverage starts Thursday from Shinnecock Hills on Fox FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. The U.S. Open.
Out there at the tip of Long Island, if I'm not mistaken.
Long Island, yeah.
Long Island.
Well, Patrick Corbin down 5-0. Cory Dickerson will start it off in the 6th inning. Rally gloves are in place. Dickerson has grounded out, struck out. He's 0 for 2. This guy was an all-star last season in Tampa Bay. Traded to the Pirates right after spring training got underway in February. Former teammate of Steven Souza Jr. Both in the Rays outfield last year. You might remember Dickerson spent his first 3 seasons in Colorado. But he was a very good hitter at the Trop, which is a pitcher's park. He hit 51 home runs with Tampa Bay over the last 2 years.
And you see he chokes up on the bat all the time, but watch him if he gets to a 2-strike count. He'll really go up that bat handle.
Yeah, it's like Felix Millan.
He choked up about an inch or so off the knob of that bat, but if he gets to a 2-strike count, he'll go all the way up to the top of that tape.
Fastball missed, and it's 3-0. Patrick has walked 2 so far, 1 intentionally. They both scored. Pirates got 4 in the 5th to go up 5-0. The catcher Diaz on deck. There's that north-south strike zone from Jim Wolf. Gets the call on the 3-0 fastball. That's belted toward Peralta, right field. David's got it.
Hey fans, catch the D-backs Mets series here at Chase Field this weekend with the D-backs Value Pack. Get a game ticket, a hot dog, and a Pepsi for just $25. For tickets, visit dbacks.com/value.
Start of a 7-game homestand here today. 2 more against the Pirates coming up, and then the Mets are in here for 4 starting on Thursday. Elias Diaz, the catcher, has singled and grounded out. That's belted right by Ahmed and into left field. Diaz, who's hit lefties all year long, is 2 for 3.
He swings like he's mad at the baseball. Man, grits his teeth, squints his eyes, swings as hard as he can, and ropes one through the left side of the infield that time.
109 miles an hour off the bat. There's big Josh Bell. Walked and scored his first time up. He started that Pirate 5th inning with that base on balls. Mercer followed with a double, and that's one thing that you always like to point out, BB, that lower part of the order starting rallies. You get a couple of guys on for the leadoff men, and then you put up a 4 spot like the Pirates did in the 5th. Boy, John Ryan wanted that fastball in. Patrick left it up a bit, but got away with it. It's 1-2.
Yeah, it was so bad it was good. Elevated up above the top of the zone. They wanted to come in on the hands of Josh Bell that time.
Well, that goes back to what you were talking about a moment ago. Watch how much the catcher has to move the mitt. You can tell how accurate the pitcher is, and Patrick had a bad miss that time. Murphy's on it, and Diaz stays put at first. Corbin now over 90 pitches in the ball game. There is activity in the D-back bullpen. Braden Shipley just called up today from AAA Reno. Christian Walker went back down. Braden has been working in relief for the Aces, and they think that he can give the D-back some length in the bullpen. Going to see how that works.
Well, as this game has progressed, the Pirates have done a better job of laying off that Patrick Corbin slider. He's thrown a number of them in the dirt. They've been able to check their swing and take it for a ball, swing some counts in their favor.
Yeah, they were almost helpless against that pitch the first time through the order, but it's been a different story. That's foul behind Joey Cora, third base coach for the Pirates. Full count, 3-2. Third base on balls. 2 on and 1 out for Mercer, who doubled his last time up.
The Pirates have apparently made an adjustment to the Patrick Corbin slider. Now he needs to make a counter adjustment. Well, he's not going to get the opportunity. Torey Lovullo on his way out to the mound.
So that'll be it for Patrick Corbin. 95 pitches through 5 1/3, responsible for 2 base runners. He leads the ball game trailing 5-0. Back after this on Fox Sports Arizona. Night ends here in the 6th inning, trailing the Pirates 5-0. Fans, this weekend the D-backs Spanish broadcast is back. Fox Sports Arizona Plus. The great Oscar Soria, Rodrigo Lopez will have Spanish language coverage. D-backs and Mets Saturday 7 o'clock. Brought to you by your Valley Honda dealers and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Find the Plus channel listing and the 25-game Spanish language broadcast schedule at foxsportsarizona.com. Braden Shipley set to make his 2018 debut. His numbers this year with AAA Reno, you'll see 11 games, but only 6 starts. He's been working in relief. They think he can help out the bullpen and give them some length back there.
Well, in the absence of Jorge De La Rosa, TJ McFarland's role has changed somewhat in the bullpen. He was the guy that Torey could usually count on to get multiple innings, but he's going to be more of a matchup lefty.
Yeah, Jorge is out with that Achilles bursitis right now, but we saw him this morning in the clubhouse, said he was feeling better. And Randall Delgado is still working with Vizeli coming back from his injuries. He's pitching tonight in the Cal League, so get some of those length guys back there. It'll really ease the burden.
Well, especially in a game like this, trailing 5-0, you just want to stop the bleeding, give your offense a chance to get back in the game, and the longer Braden Shipley can pitch in this ball game, the more the Diamondbacks are going to like it.
There's a fastball, Anthony's. Braden was actually up with the big league club earlier this year. Came up and had a throw day the day after he got called up from Reno, and developed a little arm problem, had some right elbow inflammation. So as soon as he got up here, he went right on the DL. He was out from May 8th to May 18th. So this is his first big league game this year. Fastball at 95 is in. 2-1 on the Pirates shortstop.
You know, we said it looked like the Pirates adjusted against Patrick Corbin. The first time through the order, he faced 9 batters, had 10 swings and misses on that slider. The next 2 times through the order, he faced 16 batters, only had 2 swings and misses on the slider.
It's kind of the same problem that Zach Godley has run into from time to time with his curveball. This is hit hard to center. Owings, CO makes a beauty. And they got to hustle back to the bases. Bell at first is out of there. What a great running grab in center field by Chris Owings. Bell was all the way at second when Owings caught the ball and was late getting back to first. But the question is, did the throw pull Goldie off the bag? They're going to challenge. Does he keep his foot on here? No. Yeah, this is going to get overturned. The problem with that play from the umpire's perspective is that ball is hit deep to center field. They're rotating over. And so the call was made well off the bag at first.
Well, and there's really nothing else Goldie can do. He had stretched as far as he could possibly stretch, keeping his foot on the bag. You don't want to let that ball get by you into foul territory. Then the runners will tag in advance of base. Boy, that's close. It just depends on how long that toe cleat is on his shoes there.
So Sam Holbrook on the right there, the crew chief talking to New York. DJ Rayburn made the call at first. But Rayburn had rotated way over. He was almost on the second base bag when he made that call.
Boy, what a great catch by Chris Owings in center field, going all the way back to the wall. Made the catch, crashed into the padding, and then quickly got it back into Nick Ahmed, who tried to double off the runner at first base.
Blakeney over there with Holbrook, and it is indeed out at first. So a double play there gets the D-backs out of a jam. Bottom 6th coming up. They trail at 5-0.
The Diamondbacks 5-0. What a fine running catch by Chris Owings out in center field. Jordy Mercer drives that ball straight away. Sprint speed of 27.5 feet per second. He covered 87 feet, so it just is a comparison, that's like running from home to first. To make that play, all the while keeping your eye on that ball in the air and then having the wherewithal after making the catch to quickly get it back in and turn it into a double play.
CO can really run out there. So the D-backs catch a break, try and turn the momentum as Goldie leads off the sixth against Musgrove. He's 0 for 2.
27.5 feet per second for CO, the fastest recorded this year on StatCast. Byron Buxton 30.5 feet per second.
Well, having seen Buxton play against us last year, 3 games, I believe it. Fastball missed low to Goldie. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one's just a smidge higher in there for a strike. Goldie is struck out, grounded out. Begins the homestand on a 6-game hitting streak. Last 5 have been multi-hit games. There's the slider, caught the corner. It's 1-2. Lays off the high fastball. This start by Musgrove, Bob, kind of reminds you of Daniel Mengden in Oakland when all he did was throw strikes at the D-backs and threw a 2-hit shutout.
Yeah, Musgrove has a little more fastball than Daniel Mengden did, but yeah, just pounding away at that strike zone.
Goldie knocks it into center, leadoff single.
Boy, this baseball's such a game of momentum, and maybe that Chris Owings play in center field will jumpstart the Diamondbacks offensively. Goldie driving one right back through the box for a leadoff knock.
107 off the bat. And a 7-game hitting streak. Here's Jake Lamb, who's grounded out. He was hit by a pitch in the foot. Mercer, the shortstop, will slide over first base side of second.
Goldie's been barreling the ball with regularity over his last 16 games. 48 batted balls. 46% of those are considered hard hit line drives and fly balls. 12 times he barreled it up, which means a pitch in the strike zone, he just squares it up right off the sweet spot of the bat.
Bounce by Bell. Musgrove hustles over there to cover the bag. They get Lamb at first and Goldie moves up.
A nice play once again by Joe Musgrove to continue over there to first base after Bell fanned on that ground ball. Josh Harrison there to back it up, and the Pirates pitcher got over to cover the bag the way he's supposed to.
4-1 on the putout. Goldie at second, 1 out for John Ryan Murphy, who singled in the second. He's 1 for 2. Murphy's last time up hit one deep to left field that Dickerson ran down in front of the D-back bullpen. Got a first pitch slider. There's the cutter. 1-2. D-backs have won 9 of 12. 6 over 500, holding a 2.5 game lead atop the NL West over the Dodgers and the Giants. Giants lost in Miami tonight 7-5 as Lewis Brinson gave Madison Bumgarner a hard time. Brinson had a couple of big hits for Miami.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Dodgers off tonight. Padres lost in St. Louis 5-2. Two and two on John Ryan Murphy.
Ooh, got a hanging slider on the inside part of the plate that time. Good pitch to hit. Murphy just hit the top half of the ball, fouled it off.
D-backs have been out hit 6-4. They trail it 5-zip. Fastball in, it's full. Peralta on deck. Musgrove has been so efficient, he's not walked a batter tonight. 70 pitches, 51 strikes.
This is the first 3-ball count in the game for Joe Musgrove.
Long set. Somebody finally called time. Musgrove gave up singles to Murphy and Peralta in the second. Corbin in the fifth, and now Goldie here in the sixth. Here's the 3-2 to Murphy. Along the line, long run for Meadows. Can he get there? It's in foul ground.
Now Meadows was cheating over into the gap in right center field a little bit. What we've seen from John Ryan Murphy this year, I would consider him to be pretty much a dead pull hitter. The Pirates adjusting accordingly. Starling Marte cheating over in the gap in left center a few steps. Cory Dickerson in left field a few steps toward the line. And Austin Meadows playing toward the gap in right center field.
I'm not sure that Musgrove has had an inning this long, let alone an at bat. Well, whatever rhythm he was in or has been in, it seems to have changed here during John Ryan's AB. We'll do it again on 3-2. That one got behind him. Here comes Peralta. David is singled and flying out. Chance to get right back in it here with one swing. Ray Searage going to pay a mound visit. Bullpen quiet for the Pirates right now.
Hey fans, the D-backs will take on the New York Mets for a 4-game series starting this Thursday here at Chase Field. This Sunday is Father's Day, and the first 15,000 dads will get a D-backs Hawaiian shirt courtesy of Tyson Foods. Visit dbacks.com.
I thought you were going to wear or model the Hawaiian shirt. Staff has dropped the ball again.
Well, they took it to the dry cleaners and
well, we had to get it pressed.
Hung it in the back of the booth somewhere.
I mean, this is a good looking shirt. We want to show this off.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I feel like a dad now.
Got that high collar going. That's a good
nice.
look.
Yeah, see, you know, if you're one of those guys that likes to be cool, you can flip the collar up there.
Yeah, I'm not sure that worked. Yeah,
work. Not for dad.
Here's a chance for Peralta. 2 on and 1 out. There's the cutter. It's 0-1. Goldie at second and Murphy at first. Boy, got that fastball right in on that hands. 0-2. David, one of the guys that uses that axe handle bat. See the bottom of that bat shaped like an axe handle. Jake Lamb's another guy that likes that bat. This is hit to center field. Starling Marte. Goldie at second. He'll head for third. Murphy stays put. They're on the corners with 2 outs.
Yeah, we actually have a simulated axe handle bat up here. This is a training bat that you use for one-handed drills, but you can see the bottom of the bat, how it's shaped. It just fits perfectly into your hand, at least some guys' hands. Other guys don't like it so much, but you know, it doesn't have the traditional squared off knob at the bottom. You can see it's angled so that you can get your hand right there and get as far down on the knob as you possibly can.
A lot of guys that have had that hamate bone surgery say it's just a lot less painful than having that big knob dig into the palm of your hand.
I remember Matt Williams back in the day, from the time he first got to the major leagues with the Giants back in '86 until he retired from the Diamondbacks, always had a big blood blister on the palm of his left hand from the knob of the bat. Of course, we didn't have axe handle bats back then.
Oh, a chance for Ketel Marte. First and third, 2 down. He's 0 for 2.
Just as a clerical point for those of you keeping score at home, John Ryan Murphy was hit with that last pitch.
I was wondering about that. Sometimes when it's right at their feet like that, you never can be sure. Well, Marte red hot this month. Yesterday, 3 hits. He knocked in 3, a double and a home run at Coors. Got a chance, could really use an extra base hit right here.
No, the Pirates not expecting Marte to pull the ball against Joe Musgrove. Everybody shaded around to left field. Marte in center field, several steps over into the gap in left center. Once again, Austin Meadows, the only guy patrolling all that area from center field all the way around to the right field line.
Boy, really got that cutter in on the hands of Ketel that time. 2-2. Signs of life for the first time tonight in the Pirate bullpen. Neverauskas, the right-hander. He's just up from AAA Indianapolis. 2-2 on Marte. 2 on and 2 outs. Got a changeup and got a big strikeout. We're through 6. D-backs down 5-0. was a 1-0 ball game until a 4-run Pirate fifth. Mercer doubled after Bell had walked. Harrison walked. Meadows had a big 2-run double. Marte had a 2-run hit. Pirates got 4 runs on 3 hits and 2 bases on balls. And that 5th inning against Patrick Corbin to take a 5-0 lead. And as we see here in our Gila River game summary, we are still 5-0 starting the 7th inning.
You know, we kind of felt it coming against Patrick Corbin in that 5th inning. We even commented at the time the 4-pitch walk to Josh Bell to start that inning after Patrick had just been pounding away at the strike zone through the first 4 innings. Should have been somewhat of a red flag, and it turned out to be a big red flag as the Pirates scored 4 in that 5th inning.
Well, Pittsburgh had Dovidas Neverauskas warming up in their bullpen, but Musgrove will hit for himself here to start the 7th against Braden Shipley. Shipley came on in the 6th inning, got the last 2 outs of that inning on that double play ball that Chris Owings ran down in deep center. Doubled off Josh Bell at first. Leadoff man Josh Harrison on deck. Braden Shipley 11 games with Reno this year. Only 6 starts, 3 and 4 with a save. Check swing bouncer to third. Lamb charges and they retire Musgrove to start the 7th.
Hey fans, tonight American military personnel serving overseas are watching this game on AFN, the American Forces Network. Welcome to those in countries around the world aboard naval ships at sea, and thank you for your service.
D-backs and Pirates from Chase Field in downtown Phoenix. Josh Harrison walked and scored in that 4-run Pittsburgh 5th inning. He's 0 for 2. 95 from Shipley. Braden Shipley, for a long time when he was a D-backs prospect, a former #1 pick out of Nevada, was a guy that had a mid-90s fastball. Threw consistent 95, 96, then became more of a pitch to contact type guy. Took some of the velocity off in exchange for better command and location. Looked for ground ball outs. But now that he's in the bullpen, I think we might see that velocity crank back up.
Yeah, usually it does. A guy taken from the starting rotation, inserted into the bullpen. You don't have to save anything for late in the ball game. It is late in the ball game usually.
Well, they've tried Braden for years in a starting role. Mixed results both here and at Reno. So maybe this is the ticket, pitching in relief here in the big leagues.
Well, and you'll also notice astute fans, and that's all we have here in Arizona. And notice he's not wearing his goggles.
Those kind of come and go. Braden was the 15th pick in the draft by the D-backs back in 2013 out of Nevada Reno. He's from Medford, Oregon. 26-year-old right-hander. Fastball up and in. That got Harrison. Ooh. Boy, that's what you were talking about just the other day. Turtling and turning away from the ball.
Turn away and pull your head down into your shoulders. Use that helmet to protect the back of your neck. I'm sure that didn't feel good for Josh Harrison, but certainly not as much damage done had he turned into the ball. And Shipley very upset with himself out there on the mound.
A one-out base runner for Austin Meadows, who had a 2-run double his last time up, 1 for 3. Sliders in the dirt. A ball and a strike to Austin Meadows. Meadows just a kid. He only turned 23 years old last month. First round pick out of high school in Georgia. That's close at first. Safe, says DJ Rayburn.
Quick move by Braden Shipley. Quick feed. Had Harrison leaning the wrong direction that time, but by the time Goldie can slap that tag back to the base, Harrison's safely in.
Mentioned Meadows, the tremendous start he got. National League Rookie of the Month in May, despite the fact he didn't make his big league debut until May 18th. He's had a tremendous start to the year, now batting .355 this season. There's another one that got away from Shipley. He's dusted 2 Pirates now, and with Pittsburgh's history of pitching inside, that's not going to sit well in the Pittsburgh dugout. Clint Hurdle. These guys have long had a well-earned reputation for plunking batters and just pitching inside. That's twice now that it's got away from Braden.
One up near the shoulder of Josh Harrison, very close to the helmet, and that one right at the helmet.
And of course, there's a long history between these two teams. Remember, Goldie got hit a few years ago, and then McCutcheon got drilled, and back and forth we went. Gene Segura got hit in the head a couple of years ago at PNC Park.
Chris Iannetta took one to the face.
Yeah, it's the Pirates are always in the middle of this kind of stuff. That one, remember, broke Goldie's hand.
Yep.
And then McCutcheon took one from Randall Delgado, was immediately tossed. That raised all kinds of outrage. This one got Segura.
Gene Segura.
Back and forth we go. I mean, this is the way the Pirates do things, and you just got to know that that's been filed away. Meadows hits one high in the air, deep right center. Owings in front of the pool. Harrison will hold up at first.
Well, one thing you like about Chris Owings, when he plays outfield, he doesn't catch the ball and then look to see what the runner's going to do. He catches it and gets it back in as quickly as he can. Josh Harrison's got great speed. He went back to the bag to tag up, and because CO got rid of the ball so quickly on line to second base, Harrison had to retreat to first.
Yeah, we saw that certainly on the ball that Mercer hit when CO made that running catch into the wall and double off Bell at first. Starling Marte's had a big day. Double, a single he's knocked into. Up the middle, Nick Ahmed, little shovel pass to Marte. They get the force on Harrison. We stretch in Phoenix. It's 5-0 Pittsburgh.
Joe Musgrove came as advertised tonight. Had 3 quality pitches working, spotting his fastball well through some really good sliders. And as the game has progressed, that changeup has become a real good weapon for him. Just pounding the strike zone.
Musgrove in his first 2 starts this year for the Pirates after coming over in that offseason trade from the Astros, went 7 innings each time. That was in wins over the Cardinals and the Cubs. And he's out there to start the 7th tonight against the D-backs. Chris Owings leads it off.
13 changeups in the game for Joe Musgrove. Most of those coming in the last 3 innings. 11 of them for strikes.
There's your immediate retaliation. You knew that was coming from the Pittsburgh dugout. And they didn't waste any time. First pitch after Shipley dusted 2 guys in the top half of this inning. He hit Harrison and he almost hit Meadows. So message immediately sent.
Well, in this day and age of new wave managers and sabermetrics and analytics and all that other stuff, Clint Hurdle is about as old school as they come.
Big time. And that's right in the wallet, which I'm told is what you're supposed to do when you're doing that kind of thing. So a runner on base, you take all the base runners they'll give you down 5-0. Here's Nick Ahmed.
Make it hurt.
Got the slider.
Yeah, it's funny, coming into this ball game, the Pirates had only hit 1 more batter on the season than the Diamondbacks had. 21-20. Those numbers are going to change somewhat tonight.
That one skips away from Diaz, and Co's in at second.
I said it before, baseball's a game of momentum, and you never know where you're going to get your momentum from. We thought maybe the Chris Owings double play might jumpstart the offense. That didn't happen. Maybe a hit by pitch will get their blood boiling a little bit.
I'll say this too, I'm not implying at all that Braden Shipley hit or almost hit anyone intentionally, but I don't blame the Pirates. 2 of their guys almost got hit in the head. Just over the glove of Mercer into left center. Here comes CO, and Ahmed gets the D-backs on the board.
Make it hurt. Nick gets a slider right off the end of the bat. Just gets it over the head of Jordy Mercer into shallow left center field. Cory Dickerson does not throw well at all out there in left field, so that was an easy send for Tony Perez-Chico.
And Braden Shipley is going to take the at bat here. A run is in, nobody out. Ahmed at first, so Shipley will hit for himself.
Wow.
That is a terrible call by Jim Wolf. He's a really good umpire, but that was a bad miss.
Well, I assumed Shipley would be up there to bunt Nick Ahmed into scoring position for the top of the order, but takes that first pitch like he was going to swing away.
Musgrove nibbling at the corners. It's 1-1. A lot of movement on that cutter.
That cut fastball is a tough pitch to identify sometimes. Even on our game logs that we look at, sometimes a guy like Musgrove will have a start where it registers no cut fastballs, all sliders.
Little tapper for Freeze at third. Throw pulls Bell off the bag, and Shipley's in there. D-backs caught a break.
And David Freese eventually has to backhand this ball and throw across his body as his momentum is carrying him toward foul territory. The throw might have pulled Josh Bell off the bag. Tough to tell from that angle where he's able to keep the toe on.
A run is in, 2 on, nobody out. And Musgrove pitched a terrific ball game. He leaves responsible for 2 base runners, but holding a 5-1 lead. Back from Chase Field in just a moment. Astros in the Garrett Cole deal, and he looked terrific tonight.
He looked really good. 25-year-old right-hander. He's going to be around for a while.
He hands it off to Edgar Santana, making his 29th appearance of the year. He worked yesterday in Chicago, retired all 4 batters he faced.
Been pretty good over his last 18 appearances going back to the 28th of April. A 1.62 ERA for Edgar Santana.
Descalso 0 for 3 is the hitter. Nick Ahmed at second, Braden Shipley at first. A run is in, still nobody out. That one is through into right field. Here comes Ahmed. The throw from Meadows is short. And it's 5-2. Shipley in at third.
Descalso rips a ball through that right side of the infield. Meadows' throw appeared to sail over the cutoff man. Not enough, though, for Daniel Descalso to move on into second base. Throw home, gets away momentarily. Santana there to back it up, but the throw wasn't high enough over the cutoff man for Daniel Descalso to read it and move up 90 more feet. An RBI base hit.
First 4 in the D-backs 7th have reached, and here is the National League Player of the Week, Paul Goldschmidt. Goldie singled his last time up. He's 1 for 3. Tying run is at the plate. No outs in the 7th. The slider's in there, 0-1. Fastball misses low. Goldie right now on a 7-game hit streak. During that streak, 6 doubles, a triple, and 4 home runs. He's got Shipley at third, Descalso at first. Spiked his slider, 2 balls and a strike.
Goldie's last 5 at-bats with runners in scoring position, he has 2 doubles, a triple, a home run, and 7 driven in.
Is that good?
That's pretty good.
Wow. Got that slider in there. Good call by Jim Wolf. 2-2.
Yeah, it's high and it's inside, but appeared to catch plenty of the strike zone right there. Not the location where Santana was hoping to throw that pitch, but got away with one.
Did he check? Yes, he did. DJ Rayburn. It's full 3-2. Jake Lamb on deck.
Another hard slider in the dirt, low and away. Ooh, Goldie able to check.
Got him. Swing and a miss on the slider.
Our Nationwide Vision eye on the game. I'll tell you, he's got a really good downer slider. It breaks straight down. Doesn't have very much lateral movement at all. He just didn't throw Goldie a fastball that he could get a good swing at. Just pounded away with that slider. Left one up right there, but Goldie swung through it for strike 3.
Jake Lamb. He's twice grounded out. He was hit by a pitch. Slider is low. 1-0. Jake homered in Denver Friday. Had an RBI single in that big 6-run 8th inning Saturday in the win over the Rockies. He had yesterday off. Here's a look at the Pittsburgh defense. Mercer, the shortstop, almost right behind Ryan Blakeney, the second base umpire. Good take by Lamb. Lays off that slider. 2-0. Shipley's at third. Descalso at first. 1 out. Lifted in the air, deep left field. That ball is gone. We're tied at 5. Jake Lamb. May is long gone. Welcome to the D-backs in June. 5-5. And that's tacos, baby.
Yes, indeed. That hit by pitch, it might have been old school, but to start the inning, put a runner on base, and the Diamondbacks have taken advantage of it here. Jake Lamb gets a fastball right down the heart of the plate at 95 and crushes it to the opposite field.
That was the big hit they didn't get for an entire month, and Jake Lamb puts a big swing on one for a jumbo jack, a free jumbo jack tomorrow. And Jack in the box with a purchase of a large drink. That's tacos.
Thank Jake Lamb for these tacos.
Ray Searage, the pitching coach, out to pay a visit. 4th of the year for Lamb. And we're all even. We hit the reset button. Boy, that's got to hurt Musgrove. He was tremendous tonight.
He really was. Deserved a much better fate. The Pirates' decision to retaliate for the hit by pitch and the fastball up and in by Braden Shipley has really cost him here in this inning.
Those are the kind of things you really got to think about, don't you? And we go back, of course, to the other night with Pounders and Goldie in Colorado. Do you pick your spot and kind of sit on it, or do you go right away first pitch bang like Musgrove did tonight? John Ryan Murphy has singled. He was hit by a pitch his last time up. Here's the slider. He gets his second strikeout.
He's got a good slider, but he challenged Jake Lamb with a 95-mile-an-hour heater right in the middle of the zone. You can't get away with that at the major league level very often.
But for a minute, Dickerson might have this just over the reach. Two down for Peralta. David singled in the second. 1 for 3 tonight.
I don't know about you, partner, but my pants are fitting a little different in the month of June than they did in May.
I didn't want to say anything. I noticed, but
4 out of 27 May games we had tacos. So far in the month of June, 7 out of 10.
We're fat and happy.
Yes, we are.
96 from Santana, 1-1. It's a whole new ball game. That May malaise, 8 and 19 last month, now seems like a distant memory. Hoping to keep it that way. First of 3 against the Pirates. Mets come in after this for 4. High in the air, foul ground. David Freese has got it. Jake Lamb comes up big, his 4th of the year. A 3-run homer that ties it, a 5-run 7th for the D-backs, and we're all even as we head to the 8th. Opposite field power, a 3-run homer, part of a 5-run 7th for the D-backs, and we're all tied. Don't forget, fans, if you can't watch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. It's brought to you locally by your Valley Honda dealers. Download the free app, take Fox Sports Arizona, and the D-backs with you wherever you go. Archie Bradley on to start the 8th. We saw Archie in the ball game yesterday in Colorado. Got the final 2 outs of the 9th inning on just 5 pitches. David Freese leads off the Pirates 8th. He's 0 for 3. .97 right there. Just a tick below the knees, and it's 1-2. It's a rocket foul. Got 97 right down the middle. Cory Dickerson on deck. Elias Diaz behind him. 4, 5, and 6 in the Pittsburgh 8th. David Peralta will play that on a hop. A base hit for Freese. A leadoff single.
Cory Dickerson making his way to the plate. There's some history between these two guys. Archie Bradley facing Cory Dickerson. Gives up an opposite field home run. You may not recognize Archie Bradley without the beard.
We've grown so used to that beard.
Yeah.
Just a baby-faced kid, Cory Dickerson. Dickerson 0 for 3. He's got a 9-game hit streak on the line.
Well, notice this at bat. Cory Dickerson against a right-handed pitcher, right down on the knob of the bat this time. Against Patrick Corbin, he was choked up about an inch and then about 5 inches when he got to a 2-strike count. Well, now he's going to go up the bat handle just a little bit. He was trying to ambush Archie there on that first pitch. Got down at the end of the bat, tried to get as much leverage as he possibly could. Now he's going to try to be a little more bat control.
Slaps that one foul.
Ooh. Well, everybody must be okay. They're laughing.
Zach Godley trying to control himself. That screen that extends beyond both dugouts is behind the dugout for the players. Double play ball here. Ahmed, Marte, Dickerson runs pretty well. He's safe at first.
Just wasn't hit hard enough. Nick had to come in a few steps, shovel on to Ketel Marte, who gets it over to first as hard as he can, but just a little bit too late to get Dickerson, who, as you mentioned, runs really well.
Elias Diaz, the catcher, is singled twice today. Yeah, Dickerson, for kind of a short little muscly guy, runs pretty well. He always had surprising speed in Colorado and Tampa Bay. Well, Diaz has done most of his damage this year against left-hand pitchers. He's up there against a hard-throwing righty right now. How about this one? Marte, Ahmed can't handle it. He's out at second. Nick lost it on the exchange there, but they do get the force on Dickerson, 2 down.
With the catcher Diaz running, this was a little bit more of a sure thing, but Nick just lost the handle right there as he made the exchange from glove into bare hand. No chance to turn 2.
So Diaz at first, 2 down. Here's Josh Bell. Now the switch hitter will flip around, bat left-handed. This is his power side. All 4 homers coming as a left-hand batter this year. He's walked twice and scored a run tonight. Fastball inside, missed, 1-0. That one sailed on Archie, 2-0. Josh Bell, for a long time, was the cleanup hitter for Clint Hurdle, but he has been scuffling. 2 for 23 in June, so he was dropped down in the order this weekend against the Cubs. Batting 7th tonight. Got the call on the fastball, 2-1. Waves at a fastball away at 98. 2-2. This is a guy who will expand the strike zone, Josh Bell. One of the reasons he was dropped in the batting order. Missed up and in at 97, and it's full 3-2. Mercer, the shortstop, on deck.
15 pitches for Archie Bradley, 10 for strikes, all fastballs so far. And why not? He's throwing 96, 97.
Bell's a big, lanky guy. Sometimes it's hard for him to get around on that kind of velocity. Couldn't get him to chase that one. And he walks for the third time tonight. 2-1 and 2 out now for Mercer, who doubled in the fifth.
Now watch the first pitch right here. Jordy Mercer is a pretty good fastball hitter. He hit one way out there to center field. CO had to make a great play right up against the wall, taking extra bases away. He likes to hunt that first pitch fastball.
Diaz at second, Bell at first. Each team 5 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. Pirates have left 4. D-backs have stranded 6. Jim Wolf's been consistent with that fastball down and into right-hand batters tonight. We saw him give Musgrove that pitch a few times. Archie gets it there. It's 0-1. Archie knocks it down. This is going to be trouble. There's no play, and the bases are loaded. That was hit hard right back up the box.
Edgar Santana, number 19, Colin Moran.
Now, if that one gets through, perhaps Ketel Marte makes the play up the middle of the field, but instincts take over for a pitcher. You try to make the play as that ball's coming back to you. That time Archie just got a piece of it.
Mike Butcher out to the mound. Bases full. 2 outs. 5-5 in the 8th. This is the Pirates' best pinch hitter coming up to bat for the pitcher, Santana. It's Colin Moran. And Moran is 4 for 8 as a pinch hitter this year off the bench for Clint Hurdle. And this is going to be a battle of the beards. Colin Moran, a first-round pick out of the University of North Carolina a few years ago. 271 and 5 homers. These guys could be twins.
Yeah, beards are almost the same color, about the same size. Archie's perhaps a little more trimmed.
More luscious, as he likes to say. Yeah. So here we go. Starts him off with a rare Archie Bradley slider. Every once in a while he'll break that out.
Colin Moran's been on the bench and in the on-deck circle watching Archie Bradley throw one fastball after another the entire inning and drops a first pitch curveball in there for a strike.
First pitch after the mound visit, which is kind of interesting. Fastball misses low, 1-1. Archie's only thrown 21 pitches in the ball game. As you can see, almost all of them 95 plus. Too far off the plate. 2-1. Boy, Moran's another big Pirate hitter, 6'4" up there, 205. They got some big boys on this Bucko bunch. Two and one. That's in there for a strike. Need one more of those. Center field, Owings broke in, goes back, and he runs it down. Archie Bradley leaves him loaded. We head to the home half of the 8th inning in a 5-5 ball game. Ketel Marte will lead it off for the D-backs.
This opportunity to ask you, as a former starting pitcher, how would you feel about having to go out there to start that inning? You're working on a 3-hit shutout and you have to retaliate.
Well, to me, if I was retaliating in that situation, I wouldn't have done it the leadoff hitter. I'm waiting to at least get one, probably 2 outs to, you know, settle into that inning and not let it get out of hand. I think he woke a sleeping dog and it ended up being a 5-run inning for him.
Okay, we're going to talk about that and how this game ends, when it ends.
Yes.
On Diamondbacks Live. But Steve, I thought it'd be good to hear from Brandon in this situation. Back to you.
Oh, we always like to hear from Webby, Todd. Thanks very much. Here's the former Giant first-round pick, now a Pirate, Kyle Crick, who never could land a steady rotation job in San Francisco, now working out of the Pittsburgh bullpen here, and done a good job at ERA under 2.5, his 24th appearance. Ketel Marte, Chris Owings, Nick Ahmed due up here in the D-backs 8th inning. Sean Rodriguez takes over at second base for Josh Harrison, who was hit by a pitch earlier in the ballgame. Speaking of retaliation. So hopefully he's okay. Up the middle and into center. Go ahead runs aboard. Ketel Marte's at it again.
Back to that short, abbreviated, real handsy swing once again. Earlier in the ball game, he was really back-legging, trying to lift the ball in the air to right field. That time, used his hands, drives that ball back up the middle for a leadoff single.
Almost slipped and fell, making that big turn around first. Good start to the 8th inning. Here's CO. Speaking of retaliation, he was the guy that Musgrove hit, as Webby mentioned, leading off that 7th inning. Make sure that Ketel's okay.
Looks like he did something to his leg. I thought maybe he got hit by the pickoff throw over there at first base. Maybe just an awkward slide back into bag. Seems to be okay.
He's playing with a bit of a bum shoulder. He's got some soreness in there. They're trying to nurse him through that.
Oh,
Crick almost threw that slider to the backstop. Diaz able to fly out there and get it. 1-0. Chris Owings coming off a big day at Coors Field yesterday. Doubled twice, walked, knocked in a run. 0 for 2 so far tonight. Brad Boxberger getting loose in case the D-backs take the lead. Or if it's still tied, you send him out there for the 9th. His pitcher spot is coming up after Ahmed, who's on deck. Boy, there's that 97-mile-an-hour fastball. That's what made Kyle Crick a first-round draft pick. Coming out of high school in Sherman, Texas. That was in 2011, and it just never worked out in the Giants organization. Couldn't find any consistency. They tried him in the rotation. They tried him in the bullpen, and finally, he was dealt. But he still got that hard fastball. Ball 4. 2 on, nobody out. Here's Nick Ahmed, who had an RBI single and scored a run. And that 5-run D-back 7th. Diaz and Bell will pay a mound visit to Kyle Crick, who's worked himself into a quick jam here. Pirates acquired Kyle Crick from the Giants in January, part of the Andrew McCutchen deal. A chance for Nick. 5-5 in the 8th. Ketel Marte at second, Chris Owings at first, nobody out.
Pirates expecting a bunt? I'm not so sure.
Bell creeping in from first. Freeze even with a bag at third. Pitcher spot is behind Ahmed. John Jay has come out in the on-deck circle. Boxberger warming up in the bullpen. Joe's bunt pulls back. Marte breaks for third, and he's in there. I'm not sure if he meant to go or not. He was halfway to third by the time Ahmed pulled back, and Ketel was so far off the bag he just had to go.
Diaz behind the plate has a reputation of liking to show his throwing arm, so that could have possibly been a setup. You see David Freese blocking the bag right there with the left foot.
They're going to challenge this.
Yeah, Marte tried to swing the right hand around and get it on the bag before Freese was able to apply the tag, but that left hand never got to the base.
Boy, I don't know. Does he get that right hand on the bag?
Yeah, and obviously this is why we have the replay system in place. There's no way an umpire can see everything that happened on that play.
Sam Holbrook, the crew chief, down there at third. That's a gentleman on your left there. Jim Wolf, the plate umpire, on the right. Here's another look.
You know, the left hand goes right into the left foot of David Freese right there. But does the right hand get on the base before the tag is applied? That's what's really tough to tell.
That's a you got to have enough to overturn it. That's critical. The call was safe. And you could see from that high angle shot that Ketel was so far off the bag at second that when Ahmed pulled back, he had to break for third. This one might take a while. This is a tough one.
You know, occasionally you can bait a catcher into attempting a pickoff at second base.
Does the bag move? 2 2 Not enough to overturn the call, so that works out in the D-backs' favor. Owings stays put at first. Marte's at third. Nobody out. A 1-0 count on Ahmed.
Or Marte will be credited with the stolen base right there.
So the go-ahead run now 90 feet away with nobody out. Tony Perez-Chica coaching at third. Infield comes in for the Pirates. That's to the backstop. Here comes Marte, and it's 6-5 D-backs. They were down 5-0. They lead it 6-5.
Pulls that slider almost out of the left-handed batter's box. No chance for Diaz to stop that ball in any way, shape, or form. Chris Owings had thoughts about going to third base. That ball got so far away.
Co's at second. Ray Searage is at the mound, and this is why the Giants had to eventually just give up on Kyle Crick and send him to Pittsburgh in a McCutchen deal. Last time the D-backs came back from a 5-run deficit, August of 2016 against Atlanta. They were down 5-0. They won that game 9-8. They lead this one 6-5. In the meantime, Ahmed is still up there. Owings is at second. Still nobody out. And it's 2-0. One of 10 is pop foul. Nick with that RBI single in the 7th has extended his hitting streak. He's now hit safely in 8 straight. Bell still in on the grass at first. Freeze is even with a bag at third. And that's a balk. A wild pitch brought home the go-ahead run. Now the insurance run is balked to third.
Well, what an odd inning. Nick Ahmed was up there willing to give himself up to bunt 2 runners into scoring position. The Pirates decided, hey, we'll just throw some wild pitches and balk you around the bases.
This is the way things have gone for Pittsburgh lately. Clint Hurdle's ball club is 6-16 since May 17th. 98 from Crick, and it's 2-2. Pirates at one point were 9 games over 500. They come into tonight a game under. Jay will hit for the pitcher. Boxberger in the bullpen. Tell you what, you come back and steal this one.
Oh yeah, this is a big one.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Big one.
Two and two.
Well, I got a feeling that Clint Hurdle and the Pirates' decision to plunk Chris Owings in retaliation, that's going to be a hot topic on all the talk shows for the next 24 hours or so.
That's the way they've always played the game, right or wrong. They did have 2 of their guys almost hit in the head. Owings will stay put at third. Mercer retires Ahmed. That was a great point that Todd and Webby made just a moment ago. That really started it off in that 5-run 7th inning. Owings was plunked to lead off the inning. First pitch of that half inning, in fact. Ahmed followed with a single. Freeze had a throwing error, and then the floodgates opened up, leading to the Lamb home run that tied it. And now the D-backs have a 6-5 lead. That's it for Crick. We'll take a break. Shipley almost drilled 2 Pittsburgh batters in the head. He got Harrison, and then he missed the other one. First pitch of the bottom half of that inning. Owings is drilled by Musgrove. Ahmed an RBI single. And the D-backs were on their way back. Descalso an RBI knock. And after Goldie struck out, Jake Lamb came up, 2 on, 1 out, and tied it up. A 3-run homer made it 5-5.
Chad Roberts air conditioning and plumbing, cool play of the game.
And then in the 8th, Marte hung up, sneaks into third, comes in a wild pitch. And after that, Kyle Crick balked Owings to third. Ahmed grounded out, and that was it for Kyle Crick. And on now for the Pittsburgh Pirates, the right-hander Dovydas Neverauskas, called up over the weekend from AAA Indianapolis.
The only player to ever be signed directly out of Lithuania.
John Jay will hit for the pitcher. Boxberger ready in the bullpen. Jay still looking for his first D-backs hit. Infield is in for Pittsburgh. Throw to third, and Owings is back. Jay 0 for 12, 8 strikeouts as a D-back so far. 292 on the year. Acquired from Kansas City last week. Owings at third, 1 out. Curveballs in the dirt. Dovydas Neverauskas started the season with the Pirates at an ERA over his first 7 appearances of almost 11, and was sent down to AAA in the middle of April. He worked 2 scoreless innings Friday afternoon against the Cubs after he was recalled. Fastball down and in. Actually make that a hard slider. Maybe a cutter.
So we were talking about earlier. Sometimes that cutter slider, it's hard to determine which pitch it actually is.
Either way, 94. That's pretty impressive. Hard breaking ball missed inside, and John Jay's ahead 3-1. Descalso, who had an RBI single and scored in that 5-run 7th inning, is on deck.
Well, you really got to be careful pitching John Jay inside. We know he'll just stick his leg out in front of an inside pitch.
Got a knack for it. Went back to the curveball, got the call. And it's full 3-2. He's armored up. '98 misses wildly. Jay's aboard, and here comes Descalso. Well, this is a classic Torey Lovullo game, Bob, in that the Diamondbacks really, since the 6th inning, certainly into the 7th, and now here in the 8th, are really linking at bats, handing it off to the next guy.
Make that pitcher work. If he's not going to throw a strike, take the walk. Set it up for the guy behind you in the batting order. Put some pressure on that defense.
You will hear Torey say that over and over. Win some moments, link some at bats, and hand it off to the next guy. Good things happen when you do that. Descalso drives one deep right center field. Here they all come. Owings, Jay, Descalso for third. It's a 2-run triple. I'm not sure there's a hitter I'd rather have up in a big spot 7th or 8th inning than Daniel Descalso.
He just has that ability to slow the game down. That's a 93-mile-an-hour fastball on the outer third, and he barrels it up to that gap in right center field. Took an odd carom off the wall out there, briefly got away from Starling Marte, Daniel Descalso with his 4th triple of the season, driving home 2.
8-5. 99 up and in on Goldie. Here we go again.
Yeah, we mentioned Clint Hurdle as old school as they come since taking over the Pirates in 2011. The Pirates have hit more batters than any other team in the major leagues by a wide margin.
Got the curveball in, and it's 1-1.
But when you talk about baseball being peaks and valleys over the course of a 6-month regular season, the Diamondbacks have really proven that this year. First 29 games they averaged 4.7 runs a game. The next 23 they averaged 2.3 runs a game, and over the last 12 nearly 7 runs a game.
He put the curveball right there at the knees. Goldie caught looking.
Well, don't discount the fact that a 99-mile-an-hour fastball at your head the first pitch of the sequence will make you knee buckle a little bit on a breaking ball later on.
First strikeout for Dovydas Neverauskas. Here's Lamb, who had the big home run in the 7th that tied it at 5. Pirates with 3 infielders on the first base side. Tied him up with that breaking ball. Oh, he's got a good combo with that 99-mile-an-hour fastball and that big curveball. D-backs after 6 innings tonight had only 4 hits and trailed at 5-0. They now lead at 8-5. That one gets behind Diaz. Here comes Descalso. 9-5 Diamondbacks. Hit batters, walks, balks, wild pitches. We'll take them all.
Yeah, you bet you will. Before that hit by pitch of Chris Owings, the Diamondbacks had 4 hits, as you mentioned, and no runs since that hit by pitch. They've scored 9.
1-1 on Lamb. 5-run 7th, followed by a 4-run 8th. Down 5-0.
Boy, Webby put it right. It may have awakened a sleeping giant.
Sure did.
Don't poke the bear.
This will stay fair for Bell at first. D-backs with a 4-run 8th. They lead at 9-5 as we hit the 9th. Heading into the 7th inning, trailed the Pirates 5-0. Last time the D-backs came back from a 5-run deficit. The last time Goldie had a walk-off homer. August 22nd of 2016, they beat the Braves. So they were down 5-0. They won that 9-8. They lead this one 9-5, and here to close it out is Brad Boxberger. Brad worked all 3 games in San Francisco to start the last road trip. You'll recall the trouble he had Wednesday afternoon when the Giants came back and beat the D-backs at AT&T Park. Brad's velocity was down a bit, having worked 3 consecutive games. He's got some defensive changes behind him. John Jay stays in the game, takes over for David Peralta in right field. Peralta slides over to left, replacing Daniel Descalso. Pitcher spot now the leadoff spot in the order for the D-backs. Sean Rodriguez, who came on for Josh Harrison at second base, leads it off for Pittsburgh. Rodriguez hitting 162. He's got 3 home runs. First pitch. Every time we play the Pirates, we get into this.
You know what's kind of odd about the whole thing tonight? There's been guys from both sides drilled and thrown out in this game, and there has not been a warning issued yet.
Policing themselves, I guess. Austin Meadows, a 2-run double in the 5th, 1 for 4. That was low.
Yeah, even though that was not in the strike zone, that's a really good pitch. That changeup started on the inside corner, looked like it was going to be a strike, and then just dropped out of the zone.
Good to see that velocity back up to Brad's usual range of 91, 92 or so. It was down to the mid to upper 80s in that outing Wednesday at San Francisco. Second base, Marte, Ahmed. Hey, roll the double play.
Well, what a sweet turn. Marte gets rid of it quickly. Nick, as usual, quick exchange from glove to bare hand and a strong throw to Goldie to complete the double play.
You said it. He is so quick on that exchange. It's really amazing to watch. Last man standing for Pittsburgh, Starling Marte. He has a double and a 2-run single. Todd Walsh, Brandon Webb standing by. D-backs live post-game show follows our ball game. What's next brought to you by CenturyLink. Game 2 of this 3-game set. Clay Buchholz on the mound tomorrow against Trevor Williams. Getaway day matinee Wednesday afternoon. D-backs live pregame show at high noon. Jamison Taillon against Zach Greinke. Go to dbacks.com for that Wednesday game. Get you a matinee price on your ticket. 1 and 2 on Starling Marte. What a win this would be for the D-backs, who trailed at 5-0 after 6 innings. Ball game. The D-backs in May played 27 games and won 8. Here in June, they've played 10 and won 8.
4 strong innings from Patrick Corbin today, before he hit the wall in that 5th inning. But boy, this game all comes back to the Chris Owings hit by pitch that really opened a can of worms for the Diamondbacks.
D-backs rolling along. They have now won 10 of their last 13, 7 games over 500. We'll be back with much more. D-backs beat the Pirates 9-5.